Welcome back to the GBGuns Armory series, where we look back at stuff previously reviewed on the main channel, give you a little more thoughts and feels, and also look to collect and build your experiences, thoughts, and feelings, and turn this into sort of the Reddit thread of the firearm and the topics relevant to it that they bring up. Today we're looking at the FN 509 Midsize Tactical. That's a lot of descriptor, but it's basically the 509 in your compact format, and then we've got the suppressor or optics height sights and threaded barrel. I had not done much with FN. I had this pistol in for a magazine article assignment and was grateful for that opportunity to finally get to try these things, because FN just never had much interactions with them, which is kind of funny because I carried around a 249 for years in the Army. I was very familiar with some of their products, just not their consumer products. My thoughts on this thing. FN has some hardcore fanboys, and then people who have never tried them before. I was kind of on the never tried them before side. We've got full ambidextrous controls. While it is maybe a little bit of the older style of stippling and older style of appearance, a great handling pistol. The trigger, light, kind of gritty, but a very discernible take up to a wall, very crisp break, and a reset of acceptable distance. A little bit quicker than your standard duty trigger, I think, but not so quick or short that it's a competition trigger and potential liability for an armed citizen. A little bit of grit feel in there that might go out with more shots or just getting used to it. And the other fact is, at least that grit lets you know that you're pulling the trigger and cycling it. I was really impressed with how well this thing handled and cycled. Witness windows on the back of the magazine, as they should be. Nice package. My only gripes were the price, and that is that FN commands a higher premium for effectively the same features and package that you can get for less money from other manufacturers. Why do they do that? Well, I mean, it's an international European company. That's going to add some cost to it as well, but some of the competition that offers lower prices are also European companies. So I don't really know where that pricing comes from other than FN pedigree and brand, and that's every company's right to do that if they want. I think some of the FN fanboys are into them simply for that very same reason of like, I paid more for my gun, so it's better. Cool, that is a factor. I mean, we see that with brands of all types, from clothing to food to cars to electronics. I mean, that's just part of the market. But overall, I was very impressed with this thing. Thought it had a lot of potential, and actually feel that it deserves a little more attention than it gets in the firearm media circle. Why doesn't it see much more? Well, that's probably has something to do with their marketing attitude and the way of doing things. FN also tends to, or at least I've seen them, bond to influencers. You know, pay somebody with big reach to put their face all over things and use them. And every time I see that personally, it turns me off towards a company. Doesn't matter how I feel about whoever the personality is that they've chosen to put out there. Now, there are some personalities that if you're using that guy, then I disrespect, I lose respect for the company. I feel like you don't understand what's going on, or don't have the spirit, you don't have the same attitude about the Second Amendment that I do. So there are a few of those, but generally speaking, what I'm getting at here is, I don't care if a company wants to pay off some famous person to put their face in ads, whatever. And good for that famous person for making money just for their face, you know, being that popular person. I get that. I don't think it reaches the same people that necessarily spending a tenth of that budget on sending some firearms out to quality reviewers might reach. My audience, for example, you guys, I trust to be mature, intelligent people looking to make an educated decision on firearms and looking to learn more about firearms. I think we have some of the best audience out there on YouTube within the GBGuns ecosphere, if you will. Certainly there are other channels who have 14-year-olds looking for giggles and explosions, or gamers who may not have ever even fired the real thing, may not even have an inspiration to get into firearms. They just want to see the gun that they played in the video game. That's cool. Those all have their places. But what I'm saying is I value you guys quite a bit. I would love to hear what your experiences have been with FN firearms. I mean, this thing is beautifully built, has all the right features, full ambi controls, styling, maybe a little odd. These ears protecting the rear sight, I think to be a little bit strange, but can't complain about it. I mean, it doesn't cause any problems. If anything, it really helps you focus on the sights. But it's an interesting choice. Aside from things that make it different, which once again are not something that really criticize, because at least it's being different, I was really, really impressed with these, and would like to spend more time with it. I really should. It's the problem that the main channel has in always racing to keep up with the latest and all that, is a very limited time to get back and revisit, if you will, some of the older stuff. FN 509 Midsize Tactical. It's a lot of money for what you get. It's also an excellent gun. So does that make the price unreasonable? Or is it just fairly priced for a high quality gun? That's today's episode of GBGuns Armory. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.